Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jaime.
Let's get into it.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So let's say there's this hypothetical scenario where there's two friends and one of them is pretty much way stronger than the other one, right? Friend A is stronger than friend B in most things, right? It's hypothetical, okay. So friend A
I think I can think of a situation like that.
Yeah, like you could pretend, like you could put names to it if you want.
People, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So friend A is stronger than friend B in most things. They have similar stature, all this stuff, but friend B has an edge up on friend A in terms of pull-ups, right?
Okay.
However, it's like a 1 rep edge. So while friend B might be doing, let's say, 9, friend A can only do 8. However, this is, concerning for friend B because she wants to be stronger in something. So theoretically, like hypothetically, like all this stuff, right? If friend B wanted to ensure that her programming was adequate enough that friend A would not be able to catch up, and maybe friend B could actually exceed, in large numbers, so that she would, run faster, so to speak, get further ahead, so she wouldn't have to worry about friend A catching up. What would be like your ultimate recommendation for implementing pull-ups into your weekly routine to make sure that this hypothetical scenario,
I have a feeling that it doesn't matter because friend A is just going to catch up anyway, because friend A is going to do all of the things anyway, and she's just going to get there.
Let me flip my question.
But I have a question. I have a question, though. I thought friend A and friend B were equal now. They both can do 8 pull-ups and 9 chin-ups.
No. That's not what happened.
Yes, it is.
Oh, in this hypothetical scenario, friend A was able to do 8 pull-ups, but the 8 was rough. Whereas
the 9 was rough.
Maybe a hypothetical video needs to go back and be rewatched.
The 8 was there. It was there. It was clean. It was clean.
So what about with chin-ups when friend B did the 10th was rough, but it happened.
Okay.
And the friend A's 10th did not.
I would say like 9.5 maybe. And friend A didn't even attempt number 10.
Well, you bent the elbows a little bit. I mean, she. I mean, friend A. It looks like it was a quarter of an attempt.
I didn't attempt because I get all freaking shaky. Like, I'll start doing it, and then it's like everything just... Have you ever felt like you can't feel anything? Like, all of my muscles were just done.
You just stop. Your body shuts down.
Yeah, it just shut down.
Yeah.
So I didn't even attempt it. I think I need to eat food to help or something. But when we did our pull-ups, they were the same. Like, we both did 8. And that 10th one, if I sent that to you, you would be like, that doesn't count. I know you would say, because you're so freaking picky. When I send you things, you're like, oh, you have to pick apart everything.
Matt, did you hear me in the video say, did that count?
Yeah.
I yelled at Don, did that count? And he went, yeah. So he said yes. He said it counted.
Well, that's because he's your husband. Of course he's going to say.
He is not. He does not, he's not nice. He will very much be like, no, that didn't count. Well, then let me switch.
According to our rules,
the intent of my question remains, but let me switch it and say, what would friend A do to make sure that she could match and exceed the pull-up strength of, what would be, rewording, what would be your recommendation of the best way to improve your pull-up strength?
It's funny that you brought this up, and I'll answer your question. It's funny that you brought this up because I was going to bring this up into one of my topics and ask you, how does it feel? How do you feel now?
I feel good
I am
because
right there.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm right there. Yeah.
I'm petrified. I'm absolutely. That's the real answer. I can talk a game, but the real answer is I go into that gym with my husband and I look at him and I go, Laura did 8. I'm like, help me. I don't know what to do.
I was wondering, I'm like, you're either scared or you just feel honored to just be in the same league as me, you know?
No. That one's not. I feel like you should be honored that you were able, whatever you were able to scrap together, you clawed your way. You didn't even really, you've just never really actually pushed yourself, I think. You haven't been
Yeah.
intentionally training them, have you?
More recently now, but before
Yeah.
I hated pull-ups, so I never really
I
trained
think
them.
you just assumed you couldn't do them as well. And then when you actually started pushing yourself, I think that
Oh, I
you,
can do way more than I did when I first started. It wasn't just that I assumed. I literally
oh,
couldn't, because I would be like I would do like 4 of them and I'd be like, I am so tired now. Now I could do like 5 and be like, that was good. Like, it doesn't feel the same way as 4 used to feel before.
yeah.
You know, like, I don't hate them anymore because they're less exhausting, because now I'm better at them
Mm-hmm.
and I can
So you're
train more.
welcome
Yeah,
then
yeah.
for giving you the oomph to
You're giving me
the
and
motivation.
I like trying to get stronger at pull-ups, because when we did the push-up challenge, like, my shoulder hurt and that
Yeah.
screwed me all up. And like, if I'm gonna try to lift the heavy ass deadlift, I'm going to be exhausted. Like, that gives you that systemic fatigue where, like, the next day I'm exhausted and the next day I'm exhausted and I just feel like beat. Pull-ups don't make me feel that way. I get really shaky as I'm doing them and afterwards, but I'm good now,
Yeah.
so I like this. It doesn't feel like I'm hurting myself. It doesn't feel like, I can do them pretty, like, daily, and it's fine.
You know what my husband cannot do?
What?
So it's been nice. We've been working out together very consistently lately. And I've been doing the kettlebell stuff. And one of the kettlebell exercises I've been doing is a overhead, like a windmill overhead hold. So I'm holding the kettlebell in one hand directly over. And then with
Okay.
the other hand, I'm reaching down to the ground and I'm coming back up. And you really have to keep and it doesn't have to be a kettlebell. You can use a dumbbell and hold it directly overhead, or you can even just raise your hand straight in the air, turn your head to look up at your hand, and then with your opposite hand, lean down and reach for the ground, and then come back up. He cannot keep the weight over his head. No matter what, he can't keep his hand over. He can raise it up straight when he's standing, but as soon as he starts to reach down for the ground and his body starts to twist,
He doesn't have the
his
mobility to do it.
arm comes forward. You know what's interesting though is, so I tested his shoulder mobility and it's actually pretty good. Like when he does it, I have him stand up against a wall with like an inch away and keep the backs of your hands against the wall and bring them up over your head, and he can maintain contact. It's not great. He has some wiggle room, but it's enough that he should be able to like hold it.
But sometimes when you do things where it's just one side and not the other, it's different than when you do both, because one, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. So,
and sometimes that messaging system, like it's like you're physically able to do it, but it's like the messages in your body, because you're doing one and you're leaning over and everything's like off balance. It just takes doing it for a couple weeks for your body to then like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can do this. We can get this together. So I'm curious to see, because he stopped doing it. He was like, he can make it about, when he's reaching down, he can make it about halfway down his knee before that weight starts to come forward. So he was just like going to give up. And I was like, no, you're going to go until the weight comes forward, and that's your stopping point, and then you come up, and your goal is going to be to get a little deeper each time, but you don't just stop, because otherwise your body will never be able to do it, because you won't ever try it. So that's our goal, is windmills. He's so strong and can do everything. And then I had him dead hang yesterday because he did the wide grip pull-ups. You saw, I sent video. And I was like, let me see if you can dead, because that's a shoulder mobility. Like you really get into that extended position. So he dead hanged for like 30 to 45 seconds, like no problem.
Okay. He's supposed to be able to do it for 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah? Have you tested your dead hang?
Yeah, I
hate dead hangs.
I could do it for like 2 minutes.
Can you? What gives? Is it your grip? Is it your shoulders? Is it what starts to...
My grip.
2 minutes. I'm gonna test it, because I was in a weightlifting group, and somebody asked, who here does pull-ups or dead hangs multiple times a week? I'm trying to figure out how to do them more often. And I said, I don't do dead hangs, but I do pull-ups multiple times a week. And somebody commented below, you really should do dead hangs. They're really good for you. Or like they have a variety of benefits.
They do.
And it was funny. So I'll be curious your thought, because this is, it's always funny, like talking with people online, especially when you're the type of person I am with my words, is my response was like, cool, heard. However, if my grip strength is awesome, my shoulder mobility is awesome, I don't have any pain or imbalances or anything, then do you still think I should do dead hangs? Like what benefit would they
Yeah.
have? And her response was like, oh, they're great for mobility and grip strength. And I responded, well, again, my mobility is great and my shoulder mobility is great and my grip strength's great. So what, like, do you still think they'd be good to add to my routine? And her response was, you do you, girl. I'm just saying they have a lot of benefits. I was like, I'm literally trying to, like, I'm asking you to try to convince, like, I'm asking you because I want to know, like, what other benefits might they have? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like being still, and dead hangs are a still exercise. So,
Yeah,
Laura,
you don't
I
have
open it up to you.
you don't have to do them. There's so many
Right,
other
of
things you
course.
could do. There's just like it's definitely a beneficial exercise. It also stretches out your lats and your spine while you're in that position. So it has like
Yeah.
multiple factors, right? It's not just one thing. It's like one exercise that you're doing multiple. It has multiple
I've
benefits.
seen people, I've seen videos before of like, oh my God, watch the spine decompression happen when I do dead hangs. And they were hanging there and they had a line drawn on the video and you could see their hips like moving below the line because their spine was like opening up.
Yeah.
I was like, is that real? And so I took a video of myself doing it once. I didn't notice any difference in like
I
any of
can
that.
feel it. Like I can feel it, not like that, not that drastic, but I can feel it like where I'm like, okay, I feel better now. I don't feel
All right.
so
New
tight.
challenge unlocked. I'm going to see how long I can dead hang and then
Yeah.
challenge my husband because by 30 seconds he was like, how much time is left? And he was like gripping.
It's harder than you think. Like the first couple seconds you'll be like, fine. And then you're going to get to 30 and you're going to be like, okay, this is getting more challenging. And then you're going to get to a minute and you're going to be like, okay, getting to 2 minutes is pretty hard. My forearms, it's my grip. It's like that part of me is like, yeah, once I get off, my forearms were like inflamed.
Yeah.
But to answer your previous question, if someone wanted to win this pull-up challenge, what I would recommend is to pull up almost every day. You don't have to do it every day, but almost every day. You don't have to go heavy. Like you don't have to go like, there'll be a couple days where you would probably do something more strenuous, more intense, and then other days not so intense. So I would do one day of weighted pull-ups. I think weighted pull-ups make a big difference because if you ever notice, like if you're going to get stronger at something, you could bench press and do like 3 reps and keep upping your weight at that 3 reps, and you're going to be able to up the weight of your 8 rep max so much more, or do more at 8 reps. You'll be able to do more repetitions at 8 reps of the weight that you did previously where you could only do 8. It's going to transfer a lot better than higher reps do. That's just better for strength to do lower reps. So I would say lower reps weighted is definitely one thing, and it will transfer to being able to do more repetitions. I would also, something else that's important for strength is speed, right? Is doing things quickly. So I would do banded ones where you go as fast as you can, and the intent would be to go fast. So put that in there, and that's a little less strenuous. So you can do that. I do that on my power day. So I'll put that in my power day, and I'll do like 3 sets of 5, 4 sets of 5 of fast ones with a band. Then you might want to have one day where you just like test the waters, see how much you can do. Test it a little bit. You don't want to do that all the time. They always say, like, people say you want to go to the gym to train and not test, or like you want to go there to get better at the thing and not always be testing. Mm-hmm. But I think it is fun, and it does like get you to do a little bit more than you did before, right? So testing once a week, and then on the in-between days, you can have
the groove.
Yeah, grease the groove. You can have one more day in there where maybe you do, like on a workout day where you do like 3 sets of, like if you can do 8, like do 3 sets of 5 or 6 or something. Mm-hmm. And then, on the in-between days, do like 15 to 20, depending on, 20 is high, maybe like 15 reps, 12 to 15 reps, maybe get up to 20 eventually. You can up that on the grease the groove days.
Total. Wait, in chunks.
In chunks, yes. You might do them in like 2s or 3s or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do like 6 sets of 2, 4 sets of 3.
Right.
And then eventually like 3 sets of 5, or 5 sets of 3. Yeah, there we go. Something like
Yeah,
that.
I need to add a little bit more of a structure to it. I'm definitely doing weighted pull-ups. Extremely hard. I'm only doing 10 pounds. But I can
Yeah,
only do 3.
it's
Maybe 3.
it's hard.
Very challenging.
I don't know if I could do 3 at 10 pounds. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's weird when you go to the strength level website to see where you should be with pull-ups, like for the advanced, elite, all that stuff. Pull-ups is lower. No, sorry. Pull-ups is higher than chin-ups. So they're like, you should be able to do 15 pull-ups,
What?
but like
Really?
12 chin-ups for advanced. I'm like, you screwed up.
That makes me not immediately, I don't trust any of their numbers anymore.
I know, right?
That's no.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going by what you say. My goal is 12. That's what I'm.
But 15 is advanced?
I think that's what it was for pull-ups, but it really probably is 12, not 15. I'm assuming for pull-ups what happened was it was like people just put in, I don't know if they survey people.
Probably it goes by like an algorithm.
Yeah, and they probably put in all forms of pull-ups. So they probably neutral grip, all of them, I'm assuming, and that's why it was higher. I don't know. But then why would it still shouldn't be higher? I don't know. I'm not going to go look
or
right
people
now,
call chin-ups pull-ups also. So if
yeah,
it
that's
did
what
go
I
by
mean.
some kind of,
Yeah.
Interesting. So lead and protein powder.
So yeah, you brought this up last time a little bit.
Yeah, so I saw an interesting retort, essentially that made me do a little research. It was very interesting. So this Consumer Reports that came out about lead in protein powder was using their standard, like their metric was 0.5. What is the
Micrograms or something like that? Yeah.
They were using the standard of 0.5 micrograms for all of their stuff, which 0.5 micrograms is apparently not even like the FDA's kind of warning limit. It is California's like Proposition 65, and apparently it's extremely conservative. And I don't even know what it was really based in, but it's California's like extremely conservative limit, which apparently is not even close to like our FDA's, and I guess is like 500 times less than like the EU's recommendation. And not that we know that like no amount of lead is considered quote unquote safe, but this thing that I read was saying that if we were to use that that basis of comparison, that 0.5 micrograms, a carrot has like 2 micrograms, 2 full micrograms, a peeled carrot of lead. Apparently lead, fruits and vegetables are more common to have lead because they're grown in the dirt, and the dirt is where lead is.
That's what I was saying last time.
Yeah. Roots, I guess root vegetables are the ones that have the most because of they're in the ground.
Yeah.
But strawberries, I guess they're grown above the ground, but they still touch the ground. So like 100 grams of strawberries has like 1.2 micrograms of lead.
Okay.
So it was just one of those things where, so when I'm looking at all of these things, sure, we don't want to be guzzling down lead. And some of the protein powders, especially the plant-based ones, did have like 8 micrograms of lead in them or something like that. But a lot of them, I felt like I basically felt like the report was very alarmist and got a lot of people like kind of freaking out about it when we're not really thinking about the context of it.
I feel like there's this war on protein all of a sudden by certain right? people. I feel like there is. And I did read the Consumer Report like article or whatever. And they were like, in one part of it, it said something about people are taking these to get more protein in, and it's unnecessary because people already get plenty of protein throughout the day.
Because they're going by the FDA's lower limit, which is the amount you need for your organ turnover. So that you live.
It's just so you don't die.
So your organs don't turn on themselves and shrivel up. Yeah. Not even your muscle. Yeah.
So this says children, the limit should be from the FDA, 2.2 micrograms per day. Females of childbearing age, 8.8 micrograms per day.
And they used a 0.5 micrograms per day that was in California. And then the thing that bothered me, so once I saw that, I went back and I read the Consumer Report again, and I noticed, so they have this whole thing where they talk, it's all words, right? And then at the bottom, they gave this really nifty chart that was very easy to see. And it was like, here's this brand, here's how many servings you should have based on, but it was based on that 0.5 micrograms. So when it said like, this is 125% more than the recommended, limit, but it didn't say on there, this brand has this many micrograms per day. This brand has this many micrograms. Like I was looking at the chart saying, well, how many micrograms in it? Don't tell me the percentage more of the recommended limit, because you're not, again, making it clear what the recommended limit is. You have to go back up into the article and find where they said they're using
Yeah.
0.5 as their recommended limit. So even though some of them still had a very large amount, it was giving recommended serving sizes. So Orgain plant-based protein, which is a good protein powder, it was saying like 4.5 servings per week was the recommended limit based on this 0.5 micrograms. And I mean, again, I still stand by what I said last week, which is that if you stick to whole foods, you're going to be better off. But the other thing is, like, even whole foods have lead in them, right? Unless you're buying organic. And even the peeled carrot, though, even had, lead in it. So more lead in it than a lot of these protein powders. So
Yeah.
Very alarmist.
Yeah.
These things.
I still think you should stick to whole foods as much as possible, because there's other things in there. They found other heavy metals and like arsenic, and I don't know. But the same thing, there's things in our soil that get absorbed in the foods that we eat that we're going to be consuming.
Yeah. It's just interesting because I've had my mom send me this article. I had another friend send me this article. And then I'm in this Women Who Lift Weights group on Facebook. And that day that article came out, there were so many people being like, oh my God, I got to ditch my protein powder. There's lead in protein powder, and like freaking out about the poisons and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like frustrating.
And even if you look at it, whey, which most people use whey protein, right? There's very
lowest.
It's the lowest. There's very little in it because that doesn't come from the soil, right?
Right.
It doesn't come from plants. So yeah, there's if you're having whey, it's very, very small amounts.
Right. Yeah. So alarmist. And war on protein. I don't know. Some of it is because it's like, oh, we already get, why do we need more protein? Right. So part of it's that. But the other things I often see are like, and this one I actually agree with, is that everything is like protein on the label now. You know what I mean? Everything is protein this and protein that. And if you actually look at
protein
the label,
bagels and protein, I don't even know. Protein everything. Do we need to add it to everything?
Yeah, well, even I was at Sam's Club and they had a sampling of the Jimmy Dean's protein bowls. So they're breakfast bowls that you can heat up in the microwave, and it says protein bowl on it, which of course it's a protein bowl. It's eggs and sausage. So like even without putting protein bowl on the label, I'm like, yes, it's protein, but it's also eggs and sausage, so it's also fat. So of course I had, and cheese, like, so it's a fat and protein bowl. So I had the taste. Of course it's good. It tastes like eggs and sausage. And then I flipped it over to the back, and it has this banner on the front too that says 35 grams of protein. 35 grams of protein is a great amount. We should be aiming for 35 grams of protein for breakfast. That's awesome. But if you flip it on the back, it was also 33 grams of fat, which again, some foods are just going to be like that. And that it's not like you should avoid all fat, but 33 grams of fat and 35 grams of protein means it's close to a 500 calorie meal. Yeah. And for 500 calories, you should be getting more protein.
Yeah.
Technically, or at least the rest of the calories coming from vegetables and fiber and whole grains and not the fat. Right.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff. Similar, speaking of fat and calories from fat, you and I already talked about this, but I thought it was an interesting thinking exercise. Essentially, my friend is coming into town and her family's vegan, and they drink soy milk and pea milk. And they mainly drink soy milk, but their youngest child, who's 1, they feed her pea milk. And I asked her, because I was like, what should I have on hand when you come? And she said soy milk and pea milk. And I was like, who's the pea milk for? It's for their toddler. Why pea milk? Why not soy milk? And she said that her pediatrician recommended pea milk over soy milk because it has higher calories and a better nutritional profile. So of course I had to go deep diving into all of this. And long story short is that pea milk and soy milk both have additives in them, right, to make them more milk-like. They both have natural protein. Pea has protein, soy has protein. Soy is a more complete protein because it is an actually complete protein, whereas pea is not. And then soy has actual fat in it, like soybeans have fat in it. So the fat that is in soy milk actually comes from the soybeans. In the pea milk, the fat is added via sunflower oil. So they get it to be higher calorie and a more creamy consistency because they emulsify oil into it, right? So the extra calories that are in pea milk that the doctor is referring to are coming from the oil. In soy milk, if you get a similar calories to pea milk, the extra calories in that are coming from added sugar because soy milk's not naturally very sweet. So they add sugar and make it taste a little sweeter. And it's about 8 grams of sugar, and it comes from cane sugar. So my friend's pediatrician was saying that she would rather the calories come from fat. The extra calories that you're getting, if you're going to get a higher calorie like milk substitute, she would rather those extra calories come from fat than come from added sugar. And I actually disagree. I would rather the extra calories come from the added cane sugar and not from oil. And my reason is because just adding oil is like more omega-6s. It's an imbalance of omega-6 to omega-3s, which regular cow's milk has anyway. Has like omega, but actually the fat makeup in cow's milk does have a little bit of omega-3 and DHA, I think, and some other things. The makeup of the fats that come from cow's milk are more developmentally friendly than the fats that come from the fatty acids in oil. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but if you're drinking a lot of milk a day, it could. And then sugar, it's not that I necessarily want calories to come from sugar for my toddler or my kid, but if you're comparing it to cow's milk has 12 grams of sugar in it from lactose, whereas the soy milk has 8 grams of sugar from cane sugar. It's not high fructose corn syrup, right? So anyway, and I think you kind of agreed with me, right? That the soy milk would kind of edge out. It's not that big of a difference, right? It's not that big of a deal.
No,
it's not to the point where I'm telling my friend, oh, please stop feeding her the pea milk. She should not be guzzling down oil.
Yeah.
She should be guzzling down cane sugar instead. Like, it's not like it's, but it was just an interesting like thought experiment in terms of like nutrition and comparing these things.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't research it as much as you did, but I looked real quick when I was thinking for milk alternatives for Juliana if she does have a problem with milk. And of course, protein is important. That's one of the things I need in the milk. So soy milk and pea milk were the two that actually had a decent amount of protein in them. But I didn't like the pea milk because it seemed to have more additives, and one of them is oil. And I don't like that it has oil added because the same thing, the omega-6 omega-3 ratio. I just don't want her eating. She drinks it daily, and it's something she has a lot of. It's not something I want her to have like all these additives added to it. Where sugar, it's like, sugar was already in the milk anyway. So that's how I felt. But at the same time, I always get nervous about certain things because if she's going to consume so much of it, like I was saying, like the soy milk, soy is such a heavily sprayed crop. And that always makes me worried too. Like how much of that is she getting? Like how much glyphosate is she downing as she's drinking that milk? Because they make soy, like genetically engineer it so that it can withstand glyphosate, so they can spray the crap out of it, and then there's you're eating that, which is basically Roundup that you're consuming. So either one, I wish she could just have the cow milk
with everything. Yeah. Straight from the udder, man. I mean, can you just get one and just let her suckle on it? Or why did you stop producing? Right? If you just let your kid breastfeed forever, you'll just.
I don't want to do
produce
that
forever. No, why not?
I don't want to be a milk machine.
Natural. It's all.
I mean, I would burn a lot of calories, but
yeah, right.
But
the other thing that I said to her, I was like, it's basically a discussion of the extra calories in this milk are either coming from sunflower oil or cane sugar, and we're choosing, do you want your extra calories to come from sunflower oil or cane sugar? So if that's the argument, why not just get there? Because you can't get pea milk without added oil, because that's just how they make it, because they want to mimic it. But the soy milk, you can actually get it with no added sugar, but it's only 80 calories per cup. And I was like, why don't you just, because that's what they get for their son, who's a 4-year-old. He drinks that. I'm like, why did he just drink that? And she was like, well, she said the calories are more important. I was like, yeah, but if we're talking about calories from oil versus sugar, why don't you just give her extra avocado? You could give her she loves avocado. Give her like a whole half an extra avocado, and you'll make up the calories quickly. And we're talking about like 30 calorie difference between, it's like 80 calories versus 110 calories.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, so it's interesting. And I'm actually looking forward to her coming, because she is like that friend that I can have these like zesty, feisty conversations with. And she won't be like, you do you, I'm just going to listen to my Dr. Cheese. Like, she'll like really engage. So I can get a little zesty and she won't be offended. Like,
That's
you really
good.
shouldn't be feeding her this pea milk. It's dumb. None of this pediatrician's arguments make sense. But
Speaking of pediatricians,
ooh, you're welcome.
so I wanted to talk about what actually happened with like autism stuff. Like, go further into that with Juliana and her situation and whatever, and follow up on the autism stuff.
Follow up.
So shortly after the podcast where we talked about all that stuff, it was like the next week.
We'll give a brief recap on what we're following up to. You took her to the doctor to ask about.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
So yeah, so she had a doctor's appointment like that week after, and I wanted to talk to him about the leucovorin and the fret test and all of that stuff, right? And I get super nervous when I talk to anybody. I don't know how to ask for things or advocate or anything like that. It's so hard. Like, I was shaking as I'm talking to him. Like, literally shaking. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Really?
Yes, and I can't help it. It's involuntary. It's not that. It's like, yeah. So if it was for me, I wouldn't even do it. But since it's for her, I'm willing to advocate. But normally, I cannot advocate. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to him about I figured it would be better to talk to him about getting the test than just going straight to the medicine, because he probably doesn't even know what it is. You know, like, this is all like new. It's not new, but wasn't mainstream or whatever. But like I was saying on the other podcast, so you can get a fret test, which is a folate receptor autoantibody test, which tests to see if you have those autoantibodies that stop your body from being able to get folate into your brain, so you can't absorb the folate correctly. So there's the leucovorin is folinic acid that can actually get to your brain in a form of folate that doesn't need those receptors. So you can test this by taking a blood, taking blood, and then you could test for the autoantibodies. So remember, I said that it was FDA approved, but I don't think it's approved yet for this. They said they were going to change the label so that it could be used for this, but it's not technically autism, it's for cerebral folate deficiency, it's called, which is very common in kids with autism. And I've been in a lot of groups where they've been having trouble with their doctors actually prescribing this. They're not comfortable with it and all of this stuff, right? All of this just makes me very nervous to go talk to the doctor. But I talked to him, and I figured it would be better to ask for the frat test, because then you'd be more comfortable prescribing the medicine, right? Instead of just asking for the medicine when we don't really know if she needs it or not or whatever. Right. And the hard part is I want to talk to him in a way that, like, I don't want to treat him like he thinks I think he's stupid. Like, because he probably hasn't heard of this, right? So this is the challenging part. I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about and he doesn't, but I also don't want to assume that he does know what I'm talking about, because he probably doesn't. So it's this balancing act, right? But he was actually very receptive, and he was very like, oh yeah, we can. And he looked it up, and he was like willing to do it and whatever to get at least to get the test done. So I was excited about that, and he didn't treat me like I was stupid or like I was like, whatever. So but he couldn't find the code for the frat test, because I don't know why they don't have one, I guess. So there's a place right next to the doctor's office to get where you can get your blood taken. Why can't I talk? I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Blood drawn.
Blood drawn. Thank you. So there's a place right next door where they could do tests and things like that. And so he was like looking for it, he couldn't find it, and he was like, go next door, tell him. He wrote like a script, and he was like, tell him to look for this code because I can't find it. And if they can't do it there, then you might have to go to LabCorp. So I went there, we talked to her. There was like a huge amount of people like waiting. So we're like, we'll come back. And she was like, at first not like, no, we can't do that here. He needs to find the code. And she's like, oh, it's for Dr. Drogi. Okay, we'll figure it out. So she's looking it up, and she's like, okay, I think we could do that here. And we're like, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. So we go back the next day, and we waited for an hour and 45 minutes. And the guy there was so slow. He had no sense of urgency. There was no sense of urgency. There's people waiting, dude. What are you doing? He just took his sweet ass time, right? Finally, it was our turn. And he couldn't find the code for it, and he was having issues. So he called his boss, and we're waiting. And then I'm like, finally, I said to him, and I'm like, you think that we should wait out there and let the next person go so that while we're waiting or whatever? And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So like, good, because I don't want to hold up all these people, because he just kept talking to us. Now finally I said that. Anyway, eventually he got his boss, and she was like, we can't do that here, but here's the code, and they're going to have to go to LabCorp. Here's the code for them. So then we go to, which we have one at Walgreens. So we go to Walgreens. They don't have, or you have to make an appointment there. So we went there, but then we had to go back home. And then by this time, I'm like, I might as well keep her home with me. And then we'll go to the appointment it was like at 2:00 or something. We go to the appointment. We get there. She puts the code in, and I'm looking at her computer. I'm like, I don't think that's what it is, right? And she's like, it said something about folate, but she was like, I don't know. And then she went to go do it, and it said, and then she was something on the screen said that she couldn't do it there. So then she couldn't do it there either, and she couldn't find the code. And it was just like this whole thing. And I'm like, I just want to get her tested. Why is this so challenging? Why is this so hard? It shouldn't be that hard. Shouldn't be that difficult, right? So I just, whatever. I'm going to talk to her neurologist. She has an appointment in November, at the end of November, to see if they're willing, and if we can't get the frat test, because it sounds like nobody around here does it, and just try the medicine or try the leucovorin and see if that will work. I don't know if they're willing to do that or not. And then if they can't do it, then in January, maybe she has a appointment with pediatric whatever they are. I don't remember what they are, but it's where we went to get her tested, evaluated, I should say, for autism, and they might be able to do it there. But yeah, it's a process, and it seems like such a challenging thing for something so simple, where other things it's just like, oh yeah, here, you want this drug? Here it is. Like, it's just real. I don't know. This is a vitamin. I don't know.
Maybe you would just be able to get it. Maybe you don't need to get the test. Maybe you would just be able to get it.
It might be able to. Some of them, some doctors are willing to, some aren't. It seems like it depends.
Well, your doctor seemed pretty open.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be willing to. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, because he doesn't
have to go through it again and go through the whole experience.
But there is a company that sells like autism supplements and things, and they had one that had folinic acid in it, but it was like 800 and something, I think, micro.
Oh, I thought you were dollars.
No, micrograms of it or something, whatever it is, which is 0.8 milligrams. And the leucovorin, it's something like 2 milligrams per kilogram or something. Like when she got up to her, like it's like 1 to 2. So she would be somewhere between, like, I don't know, like something like 30 milligrams to 60 milligrams or something of that she would need. So this wouldn't be enough, right? It's like a tiny amount. But they made a new one now, probably because this all came out, where it has a higher amount, and it's like 5 milligrams, but you can put more in there. Like it shows you like the things. It could go pretty much up to like 20, it sounds like, depending on how much you give her or whatever. And we bought some of that. It's not here yet, because I figure I'll try it, because you just want to start them out at a lower dose anyway and see what happens. See if there's any difference. Yeah. It's a little stressful.
I can imagine. One step at a time.
What's
next? What you got?
I got a study.
Okay. On what?
Fasted training.
Cool. Let's hear it.
Okay. So the study is the impact of fasted, like a fasted state versus fed state, on adaptation of resistance training. So basically that means, like, are you going to eat before your workout or not eat before your strength training, resistance training workout? Are you going to build muscle as equally?
Okay, now before you tell us about this, I have a question. I have 2 questions. One, is it recent?
Yes.
Like 2025 recent or 2000s recent?
I think it's new.
Like 2020s. My other question is, and maybe you'll answer this once you start talking about it, is what is intriguing about this particular study that's worth talking about? I'm curious, like what made you interested in talking about this particular one? Is it because it's a new one?
Because this hasn't really been studied very much. They've studied it for cardio
In rats,
or for fat
right?
loss, or in rats. Studied it for cardio and fat loss, but they don't really study it for do you lose muscle when you train fasted?
Stacy Sims would say yes.
She would say yes. Yes. So there isn't really a study like this is like the first one like this.
Oh, cool. All right, I definitely want to hear about
it. Okay. So it was done on 28 subjects. 22 were women and 6 were men. So there was a decent amount of women, actually more women than men in this study. So we're not going to use, there's no gender bias here.
Do you know their age range?
Yes. They were between the ages of 20 and 40.
Mm.
And it was for 12 weeks long. And the fasted group fasted overnight. So basically what I do, they ate dinner, but then they didn't eat until after their workout. The fed group ate a carb-rich meal before their workout. They both worked out in the morning.
So one ate breakfast, one didn't.
One ate breakfast, one didn't, and the breakfast had carbohydrates in it. They both consumed a standardized post-workout meal containing about 0.25 grams of protein per kilogram. Mm-hmm. So I figured that out for me, what that would be. I'm 125 pounds, which is like 56.7 kilograms, which would be about 14 grams of protein post-workout. So not really a lot, right? But that's what they both consumed after the workout. They consumed the same amount of relative calories and protein. So they were supposed to have, I forgot how much protein. I think it was like, I don't know. But they did a, per, kilogram of, weight. They based their protein on their weight and their calories on their weight and their basal metabolic rate. So they figured all of that out. And the goal was for them to be at maintenance. They weren't supposed to, eat in a surplus or a deficit.
They had the same amount of calories relative to their bodies overall throughout the day and protein. Mm-hmm. It was just a matter of if some of that came before their workout or if they did it fasted, right?
So there were a lot of controls. So they actually controlled for that. They controlled their workouts. They worked out supervised. They both groups worked out 2 days a week. Close to failure. There was a list of exercises that they did. They all did the same exercises. So it was very controlled, very well done. The only thing is that same thing, you can't, as we've said in other studies, you can't actually see what the people are eating every day. They're telling them what they
Unless
ate.
They're in a lab, right?
Yeah. And so they prescribed what to eat, and then they had a diary and gave it to them of what they ate. And I don't even think it was every week. I think it was the beginning, middle, and end maybe. But they were prescribed a certain amount of, protein. And protein was controlled. That's important. And calories were controlled. That was important. Okay. So they measured at the end of the study, the beginning and end of the study, they measured their 2 different ways. So they used a DEXA to use, for like basically to see how much fat-free mass they had. And then they did a muscle thickness with ultrasound technology to also figure it out. So what do you think happened? What do you think? Do you think that
I've been thinking this the whole time. I've been like trying to guess. Do
you have any other questions?
I don't know. Well, a wonderment I have, or a curiosity I have, as I was thinking about this while you're giving all the details, I was thinking in my mind, I was like, I bet you there really was no meaningful difference between the muscle mass. But then I was thinking, well, maybe there was because then I started to think, well, how did they feel though? I wonder if anybody felt a little bit more tired or didn't have as much energy. Maybe the group that ate had a little bit more fuel, and so they had a little bit more energy. And then I was like, well, Jaime, that would equal more effort in the gym and more like muscle building or less muscle loss. So maybe the other group did actually experience muscle loss, but maybe it was just due to not, like, maybe if they gave it a little bit more oomph. So I don't know. My answer is I don't know. I'm very excited to hear the results.
Okay.
It was only 12 weeks, which is a decent amount of time.
Yeah. That's enough time that's 3 months.
Yeah.
That's enough time to build muscle. And they were untrained. So, I think that's important, because if you were trained, you might not be building any muscle.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like if you were previously trained.
They're untrained. Oh shoot! I think that they built muscle equally then.
Okay.
Hmm.
So when they used there was no statistical difference in when they used the ultrasound, when they did the muscle thickness, when they did that. So there wasn't like not just not statistical. It was basically the same thing, right? With the DEXA, the fasted group
Lost body fat. Oh,
gained significantly more fat-free mass.
what?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
I know. And that's why he was. So this is in Bill Campbell's research review. And he was like, does this mean that we should tell our clients to train fasted? And he's like, I don't think so, because this is like probably an anomaly. And, you know, but what it does show is that do what you want, do what works for you.
Yeah.
Like, just make sure that you eat enough protein, right? Just make sure you eat enough protein throughout the day, and you don't have to eat directly before your workout. Stacy Sims is probably not correct here, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things where even if we could iron out every little thing and ultimately discover that training fasted is not as optimal for muscle gain or muscle retention, like even if we could iron it all out and conclusively state that, the difference would be so small that like an untrained person or your general population fit person, like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between those two things.
No.
It's kind of like people who are taking creatine. There's lots of other reasons to take creatine, but you're not going to actually notice a difference in how you perform on or off creatine unless you're already pushing yourself to this absolute max. And even then you might not even notice it.
Yeah.
It's like the differences are so small that it's not going to make, you know?
No, just being consistent is always the most important thing. But sorry, so when it came to the DEXA though, when they just separated females from males, the females didn't reach statistical difference.
So what does that mean? In body fat?
In the amount of muscle and the amount of fat-free mass gained. So the males gained more, but the females didn't. It was the same. Or
so the males, and there was like 5 of them.
There was 6 of them. So
6
really,
men.
so there's it's probably just an anomaly.
That could also be. So you're saying, but that the 6 men did gain more muscle when they were training fed? Is that what you're saying? Fasted. They gained more muscle when they were training fasted? The 6 men
according to the DEXA scan. Yes.
But the women did not have a noticeable difference.
Yeah, it said didn't reach statistical difference. So they might have still been higher, but probably not statistically higher.
Such a small amount. That's interesting that the men who trained fasted gained
there's
more. There's only
the
6.
Same thing. There was only such a small amount of them. I don't know if there's 3 in one group, 3 in the other. Like, it's such a small amount. But it was enough of a difference to make the whole group show a difference.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And they also tested strength, and there was no statistical difference in strength.
I would like to see this done on trained people.
It's hard. I think the reason it would be hard to do on trained people is because where are you in your training? How optimal have you trained? Like because if somebody who's reached are closer to their potential in muscle gain and been training for a while, they're not going to gain a lot of muscle in 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Compared to someone who may be like, oh yeah, I'm trained, but they're not really trained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, what would be cool is to be able to take trained individuals who are at a similar level during a calorie deficit, and they're training and seeing who maintains the most muscle, whether you're fasting or not. That would be an interesting one too.
Yeah. I would guess that if your protein was adequate, you would maintain 90 something % of your muscle.
Yeah.
It would be almost 100%. Yeah. As long as your training and your protein was high enough, even if you didn't eat before your workouts, I don't think it would make a difference. No.
All right. Good one. Do you want to do end it up with a little kiss, marry, kill?
Sure.
All right. Abs, kiss, marry, kill. All right. So pick one to kiss, one to marry, one to kill. Abs, visible abs, boulder shoulders, and pain-free mobility. Ooh.
I want them all.
I know.
All right, so
I can give mine. I think I know mine.
I can give you mine. So I want
Okay.
to marry pain-free, kiss, marry, kill. Okay, so I want to marry pain-free mobility.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kiss. So what does kiss actually mean? Like, it's there sometimes and not there others? What's it
It's
mean?
like, I see it as like your favorite.
Okay.
Your favorite is the one you're gonna marry. It's got all the things.
Okay.
Kiss is like, it's hot, right? Like you want it. It might not be all the perfection, but you're just drawn
Okay.
to it. And kill is like, obviously you have to get rid of it forever, but it's not necessarily because you hate it, and that's why this is a fun game. It's because it's hard to pick which one you have to
Okay.
get rid of one.
I would kiss abs.
Ooh.
And then I would kill boulder shoulders. But it's very hard because what does it mean if I don't have boulder shoulders? Does it mean my shoulders are what they are now? I would take my shoulders now. I don't think I have boulder shoulders and have abs. Or does it mean I have the scrawniest shoulders and I just look, you know, so
I guess
depends.
it's up to interpretation.
Yeah.
I said that I would kill abs, mainly because, like, well, and then what does abs mean? Is it six-pack abs? Is it just the lines down the side? You know what I mean? Because I could theoretically
I
say
pictured six packs.
Yeah, so if we're
I
doing,
would take those any day.
I would kill six-pack abs, I think, because I've always wanted like the shoulder caps. Like that would be really cool. Like when I flex, I can see it, but when I'm flat, it's hard to see them. But I can't decide actually if I would kiss or marry boulder shoulders, which is pain for. I'd marry pain for mobility. It's the responsible answer.
I think. So in training, like as I'm training, I always train like shoulders. I'm going to train my shoulders more than my abs, but it's not because I would rather have shoulders than abs. It's just because I feel like it's more productive than training. Like I don't think I will ever have a six pack. You know, I would have to get lean enough to see it. I can build my abs, but they're still not going to be. Yeah, I just think it's more probable to build my shoulders.
I also feel like there's a lot of ways to hit abs, even when you're doing like, you know, compound lifts and stuff, you're working your core, and then you need more direct core work as well. But shoulders are hard. There's so many different heads of them, and you're not going to hit one if you're doing flies in one direction or a different direction. So you have to focus on them more if you want any change there, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Kiss, marry, kill. Popcorn, chips, or crackers? And crackers.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said popcorn chips. I'm like, what are popcorn chips? Like
actually,
as one word.
Thing. Have you seen pop chips?
Pop chips? No.
Yeah, it's one of the new baked, you know, healthy quote unquote treats.
Yeah.
And
so
pop chips.
Popcorn chips, and what was the last one? I got
crackers.
Hung up on the popcorn chips.
Crackers.
Okay, so I would marry popcorn.
Me too.
I would kiss crackers.
You'd get rid of chips because they're so unhealthy, right? Even if they taste better.
I rarely ever eat chips. They do not. I love chips and salsa. Like I do. I like them, but the oils, there are always so many oils in them that they bother me. I don't do well with oils.
Yeah.
I can feel it immediately where I don't feel good after I eat them. I don't feel good.
Very interesting. I would marry popcorn, and I think I would kill chips also, mainly for like health reasons. Like I'd be okay if I was stuck with crackers forever.
Yeah.
All right, kiss, marry, kill. Running outside.
Okay.
The elliptical, and Pilates. Okay.
Oh God. So running, like sprints,
jogging,
intervals, jogging. Okay.
Yeah, because the elliptical, you can go all different speeds.
Yeah, I would marry running. I would kill the elliptical because I don't think I'm ever going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm never, because it's just about burning calories. That's why people go on it.
It's not very...
I'm not going to do it for performance reasons. So.
Some people use the elliptical. Well, some people use it just because it's a cardio machine, but some people use it because running hurts their knees. So I feel like you can get that motion.
Yeah, you can get some activity with it, but I can just walk. I don't need to go on. There's no I do things for performance reasons or for health reasons, and I don't never need the elliptical for anything.
Yeah.
Pilates, I don't ever do, but I would like if I could get into it as I got older, maybe could build because it's really good for your core.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Kiss Mary Kill, reverse hyper, T-bar
okay.
row, and assisted pull-up machine. I would marry the T-bar row.
I can't do any of these things in my gym. But I would kill the assisted pull-up machine.
Me too.
And I would marry, what was it? It was T-bar row and what was the other one?
A reverse hyper.
Reverse hyper. I would
Those are
probably
fun.
marry the T-bar row. I really like that to be
I
able
like
to
a
do
T-bar
that.
row. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd kiss a reverse hyper because that'd be cool. I like reverse hyper, but I really like T-bar rows.
Mm-hmm.
No need for assistant pull-up machine. Last one.
Okay.
Kiss Mary Kill, Bulgarian split squat,
Okay.
Cossack squat,
Okay.
walking lunge. This is really hard. These are good ones. Yay me.
All right. I would marry the Bulgarian split squat
I think me too.
because if I wasn't going to barbell squat, let's say, as often, like that would be my alternative. I think it's probably the one I could load up the most and the one I could see the most benefit from. I hate Cossack squats, but they're really good for like mobility stuff. But I don't do them very often. And there's probably other things I could do instead. But walking lunges I hate also, but they're also really good for you. I would probably kiss walking lunges and kill Cossack squats, all even though that it probably makes more sense to kiss the Cossack squat.
I would marry the Bulgarian split squat too. And this is like where the kiss and the marry comes down to like the responsible choice. I actually really like Cossack squats because I feel cool that I can do them so functionally. But Bulgarian split squats, you can load more effectively. Yeah, you can actually make more progress from them. I can't do as much weight in a Cossack squat because of how deep you have to go and
Yeah.
the plane of movement and all that stuff. So I would definitely marry the Bulgarian split. I kiss the Cossack squat. And I just don't like walking lunges. I don't like landing forward on a lunge, whether I'm walking it, whether I'm just stepping forward. I don't like landing forward in a lunge because I feel like it hits my knee.
I don't like forward lunges. It's funny. I was listening to Joe DeFranco yesterday, and on his podcast, he was talking about his favorite exercises for different like movement patterns. So it'd be like squatting, push, pull, hinge, all of that stuff. And his is always about, it wasn't just about like its effectiveness is in there, but also ones that almost everybody could do, that you don't need to have perfect mobility or perfect, whatever. So it wasn't like a back squat wasn't on there. It was a Bulgarian split squat instead. But or actually he didn't have Bulgarian split squat there because he put it in the lunge category. So there was a lunge one, and he had Bulgarian split squat, and he said I think he might have had reverse lunge in there maybe or something, because he said he doesn't like forward lunging for the same reason you said. It just doesn't feel right on your knee, right? And he said that almost all of his clients, they always feel better when they reverse lunge. But he had walking lunges on there, and he said those don't hurt your knees as much. I'm like, I thought that was kind of interesting. Because I feel like they can.
I feel a little bit that way because when you go into a walking lunge, you're going to end up going forward. So you land on your knee coming forward. But what I actually dislike the most is pushing back up and pushing myself back. And so maybe since you're walking forward, you're coming up a little bit more directly with the forward momentum. So I could see it being a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like forward lunges.
And he also talked about, and I always say this too, is like when you do them, and this can help, is walk, like don't put your foot directly in front of you, put it out to the side a little bit. It doesn't need to be like fully out to the side, but just a little bit out to the side. Don't go directly in front of you, and the next foot, go the other way. And that's what I do too.
Probably helps the knee track.
Yeah, it helps the knee go this way instead of caving in.
Yeah.
And it helps you stay balanced better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, thanks for listening. As always, if you liked this episode, share it with a friend, comment below, leave us a 5-star review so other people can find us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.